I've always been fascinated by nomads. Constantly on the move.
It's the most beautiful journey.
Surviving in some of the world's most remote wildernesses.
Where's the removal van when you need it?
And living cheek by jowl with nature. It's always seemed a wildly romantic existence.
It's the most magical place.
But it's no easy life.
It's the sort of cold that makes you feel physically sick.
And in today's modern world, they're under increasing pressure. I'm going to live with 3 groups of nomads. In Siberia,
It's an incredibly exhilarating feeling.
Nepal,
Namaste.
and now in Mongolia,
Sambeno.
with a family of herders who are adapting to the 21st century deep in the Gobi Desert. Clearly, this is a way of life that is very, very precious. But life here is still dominated by the power of nature, as storms and predators constantly threaten their nomadic way of life.
I can't stand here and say, don't kill that wolf. It's not my place to.
Mongolia's wild and untamed Gobi is the largest desert in Asia.
It just looks like the sort of bleakest, emptiest landscape, and the idea of living here and making a living here is hard to imagine.
Yet it's been home to families of nomads for centuries. I'm on my way to stay with one of them.
It's just going to be really eye-opening, I think, to discover this partnership between them and their livestock and this landscape that has allowed them to thrive for this long.
But Mongolia's nomads have had a checkered history. In 1924, the country fell under communist rule. For nearly 70 years, nomadism was banned and the herds were collectivized. But with the arrival of democracy in the 1990s, an incredible 1/3 of Mongolia's population chose to return to their nomadic roots. Today, it's believed that 30% of Mongolians are nomads. But once again, their way of life is under threat. The country is going through an economic boom fueled by mining, which is tempting nomads towards a more prosperous and settled way of life.
There is something very romantic about the idea of nomadism. Often it isn't romantic when you see the reality of it. Often it is an incredibly hard life.
It's a 600-kilometre journey from Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia's capital, to the southern half of the vast Gobi Desert and deep into the Three Beauties mountain range. I want to know what's keeping nomads here. The family I'm staying with move 4 times a year with the seasons. At 2,500 meters above sea level, this is their spring camp.
Sambeno. I'm Kate. Kate. Hello. Sambeno.
Otno.
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 Otno and
Chimit.
Chimid. Chimid.
Chimit.
Thank you for inviting me to stay with your family.
One of the things zeggen wat je had een alt.
Today.
Chimid is 78 and the head of a large family. She has 10 children. Her youngest daughter, Ordna, lives with her.
And can I have a look around? Will you show me around?
Okay.
Okay. What is happening? Oh my
Ordna
goodness,
is married to Serigo, and Chimid's youngest son, Batsok, is staying with them to help with the busy Cashmere wool harvest.
Terrible noise. Oh, look at these.
The family own an impressive 200 goats, 150 sheep, and over 100 yaks and horses.
So these Cashmere goat?
Наадар гарна. Одоо эндээс манайх ч одоо нэг 70-аад шигтэй л байгаа. Тэгээ нэг 40-43 байгаа. Хазаа шүү.
He's hungry.
Шүдтэй.
You can just see some lovely black and brown and white dots on the hillside here.
Тэр ирж байгаа.
And that's all the adults coming in. So all these little ones are going to get a feed in a minute. So it will get very noisy.
The animals are like the family's bank account, their meat and milk providing food and their wool an income. In Mongolia, they're key to nomadic success or failure.
Тэгээ ийш нь ингэж наашин шахаж ингэж юу байхгүй бол ийш ингэж задгаад байгаа юм бол бас чон нохоо барина.
Are there many wolves in this area?
Бага.
Yeah. Oh dear. I'm not allowed any more goats at home, but I might have to make an exception.
За гэртээ.
Beautiful.
They all live in this communal tent known as a ger. It's their kitchen, living room and bedroom.
Tell. Has this always been your home?
Ер нь анхан хэлээд гэр болоод тэгэл энэ гэрийг бариад тэгэл орж байгаа нь би одоо 10 хүүхдээ энэ гэртэл байж ирсэн. Тэгээд хүүхдүүд ч сургууль соёлд яваад малчин болоод ингээл ботроо.
Chimid grew up during the communist era, working on a state farm with her husband, who died 2 years ago. Their return to nomadism in the 1990s revived a long heritage, and Chimid proudly displays her family's heirlooms in the roof of the ger.
Энэ бол энэ хормон шуулт гэдэг. Үүтэнд энэ хормон ингэж хойшоо ингэж байдаг. Тэгээд тэгүүлэхын тулд энэ нэг мар унахлаараа. Гоё байгаа үү?
It's beautiful.
Дандаа бид нарыг одоо өвөөг өслөө уламжлагдаж ирсэн. Энэ эднэр бол дандаа энэ мөнгө арал уламжлагдаж ингэж юм юу гэдэг юм уу? Одоо эцэгхээс нь уламжлагдаж энэ.
Well, this is my wedding ring. This ring belonged to my husband's grandmother, and inside there is engraved the word 12th, and she was married on the 12th of September. My parents also got married on the 12th of September, and me and my husband got married on the 12th of September. So 3 generations got married on the same day. So it's very special. Yeah.
За одоо илдээ дэжэглэш.
Life is fragile out here in the Gobi. It's vital to keep their animals safe, especially at this time with the newborns, like this gorgeous 2-day-old foal, the first of the year. If those family heirlooms remind them of their past, this new foal is a potent symbol of their future.
It's the most magical place.
The film crew and I are camping a few hundred meters up the valley from the family.
clearly this is a way of life that is very precious. And they're here with dignity. They're not living in abject poverty. There just seems to be a huge amount of sort of, well, I think pride is the only word I can think of really in the way that they live this life.
It's 10 to 6. First morning, waking up in the Gobi. There we are. Morning, everyone. Can't do this. There's not a sound. It's so quiet. I haven't even washed my face for you. I'm so sorry. Meeting the family yesterday, which is always quite nerve-wracking because it's a big leap. You're kind of just stepping into their lives and hoping that they might take you in, and that's a big ask, but it was just a really lovely, lovely start.
Every morning begins with rounding up the animals. The relationship between man and beast is the bedrock of nomadism and goes back millennia.
Bless you!
But Chimid and her family enjoy some of life's modern amenities too.
And what do you run off here?
Энэ гэрэл асаа. Гэрэл асаа, телевизэр асаа.
The adult goats and sheep are separated from their young so they can graze on the surrounding mountains. The 4x4 was perfect for fetching water, but to follow the herd, nothing beats a horse.
This is the most extraordinary saddle. I feel very perched up, very upright and rather elegant, but only when I'm standing still. So you want me to keep the rein short? Okay. Okay, yeah. And feet forward. Right. If I can walk by the end of today, it'll be a miracle. Okay.
Mongolians are famed for their horsemanship, and like Ordner, most learn to ride from the age of 4. Back in the 12th century, it was horsepower that helped Mongol warlord Genghis Khan create one of the largest empires the world has ever known.
Horse is mur.
Yama?
Yama, goat. Pon, sheep.
Today, we're using horses to help keep an eye on the livestock and to protect them from predators, foxes, wolves and snow leopards that roam these bleak mountains.
Mountain.
Mountain.
Yeah, mountain.
Mountain.
Oi.
Oi.
So Yama is goat, and I've been teaching the English. So what is Yama?
Yama.
Goat, you see? Yeah, so we've been teaching each other. And on...
Sheep.
We're getting good. And mur.
Horse.
So so I've had a little language lesson. I'm practically local. Right. Oh my goodness.
Ordner spends much of the day watching the flock, but also finds time to do her beautiful and intricate sewing.
Did Chimid teach you to sew? So do the men sew as well? Will your husband sew? Actually, in my husband, he's better than me. He's good. He has a sewing machine. So is it always your job to come out with the sheep? I haven't met your son yet. Does he not live with you and Chimid? So who looks after them in Dalangzagbag?
Ordner's children, aged 15 and 13, only come home during holidays and for special occasions.
So did you do the same? Under the old communist system, a strict education policy helped achieve one of the highest literacy rates in the world. It continues today, but to get an education, children must still go to the local towns and cities, and as those cities grow, young people are being drawn to the modern world and away from their nomadic culture. And your children, Ordna, will they be nomads? I suppose what I'm gradually unpicking about this way of life is, you know, Ordna went to school, but she's chosen to live this life. You know, no one's stopping anybody progressing, but I think they are aware that their knowledge is meaningful, that it does allow them to survive, and it allows them to live a life that they choose. They want to live this life. They have an option to be somewhere else, and yet they want to be here. Today is a big occasion in the nomads' calendar. All of Chimid's sons, daughters and grandchildren have come together. Every year, the family unites to castrate the young male animals.
Yeah.
It's for you. Now I can come and sit beside you. First, it's the young stallions. How often do your family all get together? When do you see everybody? Next, the goats and lambs. All the smoke around here, as far as I can gather, is almost like a sort of healing smoke. Again, very much part of this ceremony. It's a lot easier than a horse.
With a quick blessing, the lamb's released. It may look harsh, but Batsok's doing it with real respect for his animals.
Oh dear. It's a rite of passage. Think of it that way.
The iron-rich testicles are believed to have health-giving properties, but the real treat is to boil them in salted water with yellow rice to make a rich soup.
There's a lot here. I think I've got more than my share. It's like hundreds. I've got... So these... You just do that? Really? Okay, now you've done it. I'm going to have to do it. Mine's bigger than yours. This one? Like that? Oh, don't make me laugh. It'll be a disaster. Okay, ready? Actually, that's quite good. It's not chewy at all. It's very soft and rather delicious. Oh my goodness, my poor little lambs at home. They've got very fine testicles at the moment. I wasn't going to castrate them this year, and now maybe I will.
Okay.
No, you must give everyone else.
They already. I am not.
Today, I'm going 15 kilometers down the valley to visit Ordna's sister, Surin. She and her husband Sengel are still in their winter quarters in a sheltered spot on the edge of the mountains. Tomorrow, they're moving to their spring camp.
Hi, Surin. How are you?
Like most nomads in the Gobi, Surin and Sengel move to the same spring camp every year. It's deep in the mountains and at this time should be full of fresh grass.
Looking around, there are animals everywhere. It must be quite hard herding them around here. It looks like they can go right up into the mountains. You must be very fit. Calf muscles running up the hills. Okay. Hello, dog. Hey!
With a busy day ahead, everyone's lending a hand. Surin's brother-in-law, Serigo, has brought his truck.
Oh, do you want a hand, Surin? Put it on the back.
The Gar's an amazingly simple structure, with a canvas outer to protect against the wind and the rain, a warm felted sheep's wool liner, and a wooden frame to hold it all up.
So what next? No. Isn't it funny? Men always have to pack the car, always.
Last on the truck are the youngest animals that can't make the arduous journey on foot.
That's so clever. Oh. That's just genius. There is something lovely about that ability to be able to up sticks and go whenever you feel like it. As long, obviously, as it's the day of the dog, the cock, or the horse, I think.
It's taken less than 4 hours to pack the entirety of Surin and Sengel's home. Once, a herd of yaks would have carried it over the mountains. Today, it all fits onto Serigo's truck. But their most valuable possession, the herd, is still driven the traditional way, by horse. This is a wonderful experience. But it wasn't this romantic view that brought so many nomads back to this way of life after communism collapsed in the 1990s. High inflation and food shortages made life in towns and settlements unbearable, so families like Surins chose to return to nomadism in the desert. After 4 hours heading steadily uphill, finally, fresh mountain pasture. It's been a day-long, 10-kilometre ride over the mountains to get to the spring camp.
Oh, very good.
Homemade gers like this one are found across Asia. It faces south, so it gets the warmth of the sun and is away from the prevailing bad weather. A ger is often given to a young couple when they get married, and they'll use it for the rest of their life.
Are you happy with your new home, with your new spot? Yeah. I could live with this view, I have to say. It's pretty special. It really is.
За 3 сар шахуул байна да. Энд чи өвс сайтай, хоол сайтай. Өө чи түрүү байсан өвс нь их.
The next day, back at Chimids, there's sad news. Under cover of darkness, wolves have killed the beautiful young foal.
Do you lose a lot of your livestock to wolves? If you find where the wolf is, what will you do? Yeah.
내가 10톤 алдчихлаа гэж бодох чинь 2 цагаар өтөд гэрэг. Адуу малчин босод хөөрхөн үнэтэй шүү дээ. Мөрийг харж хаашаа явсан гэдгийг нэг чигийн тогтоож авд юм лээ. За.
But Batsok also believes that predators bring some benefits.
Чон байхад юу малын элдв басан өвчин гардаггүй гэж ярьдэн шүү дээ. Дээр үеэс улсад. Өвчтэйг энэ одоо түүгээ ичдэг гээд одоо чон ховорцсноос зарим газар чинь тэр шүлх юм гэж одоо гараад байгаа гэж ярьдэн шүү дээ. Чон одоо тодорхой хэмжээгээр байх хэрэгтэй. Тэгэхдээ олон биш байх шүү дээ. гэж боддоо шүү дээ.
I don't know what I'd do if I was in his situation. I simply don't know. He's the one that lives here. He's the one whose livestock are being killed. I can't stand here and say, don't kill that wolf. It's not my place to.
Chimid's eldest daughter's camp is just 500 metres down the valley. Sitsaga has asked me to help comb her Cashmere goats. After China, Mongolia is the world's largest producer of cashmere. It comes from grooming out the goat's winter hair. For nomads like Sitsaga, it's an important cash crop.
So
do you just do this once a year?
A kilo of raw cashmere sells for around 70,000 tugriks, or £25. With her flock of 250 goats, Sitsaga can earn up to £4,500 a year.
Tell you what, in another few days you're going to have to do this to my hair as well.
As we comb the goats, the weather outside turns. During spring in the Gobi, Mongolians talk of having 4 seasons in one day, turning from a blue sky to a snowstorm in minutes. But this blizzard's nothing compared to the harsh winters, when fierce storms known as suds often sweep in, decimating herds. In 2010, a severe storm was estimated to have killed a staggering 8.5 million animals. Thousands of herding families were forced to abandon their way of life. Sitsaga may earn good money from her cashmere, but one bad winter could wipe her out.
Do you hope that this way of life will continue, say, for your grandchildren's generation? Well, this is the view that's greeted me from my tent flat this morning. Basically, it's a whiteout. So I'm all wrapped up in every layer of clothing I possess. Last night it was a pretty wild night, and at around 3:30 the dogs were going absolutely mad, which made me think, I wonder if that means that there's a lot of wolf activity. I just wonder, with all the commotion that was going on last night, whether they did come back.
Batsok decided to leave the foal carcass out for the wolves. With cubs to feed, the chance of them returning was high. So it was an opportunity for us to put out a night vision camera to see if we could catch the wolves in action.
I just wanted to show you what the camera found.
Чанаас идэх хийвэртэй хүн чан харддаг.
Do you want to come and see? So you can see this is the foal here. You can hear the dogs.
Сэрэн муу шиг.
But watch what happens.
Энэ чан кичиж чана.
Нүдэн гэлэл за.
Агчан.
Яг сүүлээ яг ингээд.
Бүтэн кичээ шүү. Бүгдийг харж явах шанал таалаа.
Ганц өнгөч гээл нөө юу яа.
Ганц өнгөлч гээл болохгүй.
Нүдэн л юм дээр.
Тэ нүдэн гээл баалаа. Ер нь үүрээр болцоогоо явдаг да. 4-5 цагийн үед хүн нэг догноор нь давтдаг үстэй. Тэр хитчил ямар шүү дээ.
Бол тэрийг хивээд баг.
Тэгж тусдах гэж байна. За тустаа тавцаа да.
Хатаа тавьчих.
Шүүс гэж бол байна.
Гоё юм байна.
Тэр танашин сэрэмжтэй байна да.
We're heading off to the local town of Dalan Zaggad to sell some of the family's cashmere. It's a 3-hour drive through the mountains and spirits are high.
За Кейтиг аймаг дарууч одоо баарн цолгоно.
Каракэ дараа дуулуулнаа.
Виски. Оона. Виски уулгаа сагтаага.
I have a feeling this is going to be a dangerous day, going to the big city with 2 nomads.
The last time they were in town was over 3 months ago.
So before you had a car, would you go by horse to the town to sell the cashmere?
Тэрнээс өмнө чинь одоо нөгөө change үуч ингээд хэсээд явчих.
Заримдаа чэнжүүд явж идэв тэр нь явчих шүү дээ.
Тойроод явчих.
Одоо ч өнөө нахцал яваалаа юу вэ машин зэрэг болсон. Багасаага явуулдаг ажлынхан талмаар 700 доллар даа өмнө хоёроо.
Dalan Zaggad is the provincial capital with a population of 18,000. Like many urban areas in Mongolia, it's growing rapidly as the younger generation is tempted by modern city life. But it's also home to former nomads whose livelihoods were ruined by the storms in 2010. Ordner and Sarago are meeting a cashmere trader by the side of the road. Mongolian cashmere is said to be the finest in the world. The combed hair will be processed into the fine and highly prized yarn in the capital, Ulaanbaatar. That's £250 for 10 kilos of goat hair. Since the end of communism, the production of cashmere has grown to become Mongolia's second largest industry. Mongolia's economy is booming, and not because of cashmere. Large mineral deposits have been found beneath the Gobi, and mining has become the country's biggest industry. It's estimated that it will grow by 30% over the next few years. This newfound wealth is having a negative impact on Mongolia's nomads.
Do you think that more and more people will be tempted away from nomadic life and go into mining and into industry and move to the cities?
Залуучууд тэгдэг тэр зөв буруу юу гэсэн үг. Буруу л дөө. Тэгээд залуучууд одоо юу руу уурхайгаар давхад үзв. Тэр надад буруу юм шиг санагдсан. Юмны нөгөө газрын баялаг дуустал бол дахиж уурахгүй нөхөн сэргээгддэг. Мал бол тэгээд өсгөөд хазан нөхөн сэргээгдэл дахиад байгаад байж.
it's hardly surprising that young people are being tempted away when the mining sector pays up to $2,000 a month, 13 times what most herders can make. But this family has a large and valuable herd. As well as goats and sheep, they are the proud owners of a fine collection of horses and yaks. Yaks are supremely adapted to life in this harsh landscape. They used to carry the family's possessions when they moved camp, but with 4x4s and trucks doing the hard work now, yaks are kept as a symbol of pride and prestige, as well as for their milk and wool.
That was fantastic. Just magnificent. Magnificent scenery. There is nothing cooler than a yak.
In 2 days' time, there's a yak festival in a neighbouring valley, and the whole herd will be on show.
You look out at these, seemingly barren hills and think, how on earth do you keep livestock alive? These animals are as canny as their owners when it comes to making a living out of this landscape. It's lovely to watch.
The family have invited me to go with them to the Yak Festival, but I need to be properly dressed. Ordner has made me a del, a traditional Mongolian overcoat.
It's amazing. She's very, very clever, your daughter.
So do you think I look okay for the Yak Festival? Yeah? Sorry? I won't let your family down?
It's the day of the much-anticipated Yak Festival. Just how Mongolia manages its transition to a modern global economy, yet maintains its rich nomadic heritage, is a difficult balancing act. But festivals like this, set up by the regional government to support nomads and to encourage tourism, are a step in the right direction. And they're a wonderful opportunity for nomadic families to come together.
Do you speak English?
I do speak English.
I want to speak English.
You are, and doing it very well.
I'm studying English.
Yeah,
Do you understand?
I understand completely. Very good.
Over 300 yaks have been herded into the valley. The festivities begin with Yak Rodeo. Next is a competition for all the family.
What do you want me to do?
Ингээд юу вэ? Одоо харгасан наасыг нь те хоёулаа том нь. За тэгэл байрж өгөөд надаас жоохон ингэж жоохон сууж өгөөл. Тэгэл нөгөө тэгэхээр би ингээд.
The men must catch a yak and shear it while we make a rope from its wool.
Hold it tight, okay. We were a little bit slow. I'm sorry, I couldn't help more. It's hard on your hands. And now, like any good Mongolian spring day, it's starting to snow.
And in the grand tradition of all country fairs, there are prizes galore.
Titska has won the best female yak. Chimid looks so delighted. Look how proud she looks. This whole festival is about restoring yak herding to this province and remembering how important these animals are to the nomadic families here. But most of all, I've just had a real sense of how nomadic families may live these very remote and often isolated lives, but it doesn't mean that there isn't a really strong sense of community and tradition and culture. And today has been all about that.
With the festival over, my time with Chimid and her family has come to an end too.
These look beautiful. What are they called?
Boots.
Boards.
Boots. За хоол идээ. Хоол идээ.
It seems like you've managed to partner in a very successful way tradition and modern life without affecting the sort of heart of nomadic life.
Тэгээд одоо болсон чинь нэстэ юм хөгжин гэдэг чинь лаг ерөөсөн барьж мэдэх юм байлаа. Гэрэлтэй, телевизтэй, утастай. Ер нь нэг төвийн улс уучиг л болж байна.
Is it a good life?
Сайхан. Бид нар ч одоо малаа хараал, малаа хариулаад хөдөө явж авах чинь их сайхан шүү дээ. Жаргалтай, цэвэр агарт. Өглөө нар гарахад босон орой нар жаргахад онтон өөрсдийн таавар янзын сайхан. Энэ амьдралдаа ястай сэтгэл хангалуун явдаг.
It's just been the most fantastic privilege to be here, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Баярлалаа. Бид нарт ч гэсэн үнэхээр сайхан байлаа. Тэгээ манай гэр бүлийн нэг гишүүн шиг тэгээ миний эгч шиг байсан их баярлж байна.
Don't say that. Thank you.
There's no doubt that nomads across the globe are under threat, and the odds are stacked against their extraordinary way of life. But here in Mongolia, at least, I'm cautiously optimistic.
This is modern nomadism.
Bye,
with all its traditions, with all its cultures, absolutely intact. But these are people who are not shying away from the modern world at all.
Chimid and her family have shown me that there's a place for nomads today, and I'm really hopeful that their descendants will be here in centuries to come.
Thank you for everything.
This is clearly not an easy choice of life, and I think that's what makes me admire them even more. They are nomads and they're fantastically proud of that, and they seem almost as much part of this landscape as the mountains and the birds of prey and the wolves.